Hello and welcome to the Gameweek 37 deadline stream. I actually can't believe it is the deadline stream for Gameweek 37, which is actually mad. And it's 11 o'clock. I've had 1.5 hours of absolute power sleeping. And here we are, ready to go for yet another deadline stream. And I've actually got, for once, I'm actually joining you and I've got no clues in regards to what moves I'm going to make. I legit have no clues as to what moves I'm going to make today. It's going to be absolute madness. To be honest with you, it could go one of a multitude of ways. I'm open to taking hits. I'm open to going with absolute wild punts with players that are owned by less than 1%. The more I've thought about it, the more I'm like going, do I just play it safe? Do I go for your Ollie Watkins and just not worry about anything else? Like, part of me just thinks I've got a lot of differentials in my team anyway, and we'll have a look at the team very shortly, but it could work just playing Ollie Watkins, playing it safe. I'm not sure if it will. I'm hoping it does. But, yeah, I suppose what better way of getting on with it than just to jump straight into this show and just hoping that we get it right. Because last week, the triple captain, we did not get it right. But it is what it is. We live, we learn, we go again. And without further ado, smash a like on the stream when you join. Smash a sub if you haven't already subbed to the channel as well. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So this is the team as things stand. I'm going to hop properly into the view of the camera. This is how we're looking for the Game Week 37. And I don't actually know. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm going to talk through all the possibilities for my own team. I'm realistically, I'm just going to throw it to the card and just hope for the best. Because I've thought about this way more than I've thought about any other week this season. And I've actually got no clue. When I was putting together the late mail video today, and I'll get into the comments. Oh, hello, Enigma. Nice to see you in the chat. I am well, thank you. FPL Have a Beer. How's it going, buddy? Great to see you in the chat. By the way, I'm also doing a live watch along. As soon as the Spurs versus Villa game kicks off, I'm even going to be sitting here like an absolute nervous wreck because I have no Villa players. And I'll be watching the first 30 minutes of that before putting on my United shirt and hoping that Chelsea just go absolutely ham on my own team. It just doesn't sound like a very fun stream to do, but I'm definitely going to be doing it. And that'll be on FPL Have a Beer's channel as soon as the Spurs game kicks off, which I believe, if I've got the time right, is 7:30 p.m. UK time. Because this should finish at 6 p.m., give or take a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to do some quick cleaning at 1 o'clock in the morning because I have an Airbnb on my house as well, which is why I can afford to do these videos pretty much, is because I'm a bit of a hustler. At the back, I'm going to go and clean that because someone is showing up in there in about 10 hours time. So we've allowed them an early check-in, so I'll be doing that as well. So that is also something else to be said. Bateman, how's it going? How are you, buddy? Great to see you in the chat. Now, guys, I have to talk about this. So one of my favorite people that I enjoy engaging with on Twitter is FPL Bateman. And I can confirm the next season, I've sent him an offer to do a deadline stream. And everyone knows I love a deadline stream with someone to bounce off. And I am very excited that Bateman has decided that he is more than happy to come on and be part of the D-Unit show, which I'm very excited about for early next season. So that's something to keep an eye out, keep a lookout for there. We'll hold him to that. He's in the chat. So, mate, there's no getting out of it now. You have to hop on. I've just shouted you out on the stream. So I'm very excited about that. I'm also very excited to have FPL Have a Beer joining me next week for a live watch along as well for the final day when we are doing the free hit. And I'm actually going to show you what an early free hit draft is going to look like in my stream as well today. Yeah, there's so many things going through my head. And honestly, I've got no clue where I'm going to end. So let's have a look. So let's have a look at the chat really quickly. Howdy from Austin, Texas. Hello, Leif. Mate, I don't even know what time it is there, but I should be going to bed, and yet I've literally woken up. I've had an hour and a half sleep, and I've had a massive can of Red Bull, and I'm up and about. So, yeah, we're good. That's it. Might try and get Nightmare on as well. Yes, do it. Yo, hello, Liam. Liam's got it slightly harder than me. It's currently 1 a.m. in Sydney time. I can't remember if it's in Sydney or Melbourne. I should know this. I've forgotten. Sup, D, the intro club music always gets me hyped. Yeah, I know. It gets me hyped as well. I listen to it. I'm like, oh, here we go. I think that's why I always, like, lots of people sit there and go, oh, she just hop straight into your videos. But I like the music because I'm like, it's like the go time. I've got 10 seconds. It goes for about 10 seconds. I normally hit it at about 9. And by the end of the music, I'm ready for the video. And I don't know, honestly, I don't do second takes. I don't do edits on my videos. And if I stuff it up, and this has happened numerous times, if I get to like a slide and it's just thrown me off, I'm like, that is just crap quality. I've noticed that myself. I can't live with it. Then I'll just stop it and I'll redo the entire video again. I've not got time to sit there and edit. So everything you always get is literally one take stuff. Wow, the chat's exploding already. So I'm going to try and quickly catch up with it here. Captaining Watkins, a good choice. Look, my thoughts on Watkins, if you are buying Watkins this week, you captain him. Otherwise, you take him on. And that's where I'm sitting at the moment. So, or, because I can't recommend taking a hit and bringing in Watkins in the hit, because I'm going to quickly check. But the last time I checked, really quickly, he's now been transferred in by 600,000 managers. Are you kidding me? That makes me almost not want to buy Watkins at all. I might just even take that off the table. I just don't know if I want to be bringing in someone that's been bought in by literally everyone else. Like, there's no rank gain there at all, unless I captain him. And then all of a sudden it becomes, well, is it a good captaincy? Is it a bad captaincy? And look, everyone knows, I like to think that the very first game of the weekend is the Saturday early morning kickoff. Now, I know it's on a Friday night and it's against Spurs, and Spurs are probably going to field their pathetic basket call case team. And look, Ange Ball is crap ball, and I can say that being an Australian, it's crap. Unlucky if you're a Spurs fan. You won't get any love for them from here. All right, you agreed to it. Nah, it's good fun. Honestly, I'm exactly like me. You'll just get exactly like me, and that'll be it. It'll be great. I think the community would love it, to be honest with you. And then, do you think it's worth playing Sarr and bench Savinho, or take it? Yep, take a hit for a mid. Sarr and bench Savinho to take a hit for a mid. Yeah, I think that's worth. Potentially. Is it? I don't know. Afternoon all. Hello, Hanford. How are you? Mamouche to Watkins and TAA to Wan-Bissaka with a -4. Mamouche to Watkins. See, that's what I'm talking about. That kind of a move there, I don't like. If you're taking a -4 for Watkins, it doesn't make any sense. Everyone's already buying him, so you're going to be getting the same amount of points as everyone else, but you're going to be -4 straight off the bat because you've bought in Watkins. So if you're taking -4 and that's one of your two moves to bring in, it makes no sense to me. So I can't recommend that. I can't recommend that at all. I don't think the card would even recommend that either, to be honest with you. 10 a.m. in Austin, far out. And here it is, 11 p.m. in Australia. That's mad. And what mid can I afford? Bowen, Chelsea mids under 8 million. All Chelsea mids under 8 million are great this week. Madueke's really good. Pedro Neto's really good. And so is Enzo Fernandez. Now, when you look at all those players, I'm not sure which one is the best one to bring in, because I'm not a Chelsea fan, but I just think that all of them are going to be good, because I think Man United are going to be rubbish tonight. I think we're going to lose. I'm expecting us to lose by 3 goals. Now, the last time I thought that was against Bournemouth, and then obviously they got a red card. So you never know. Some weird things happen in football. But I'm expecting Chelsea to keep a clean sheet. That's why Kukurea, I was not excited to play Kukurea again after game week 34. But now I'm very excited that he is in the team for game week 36, because I think he's a great option. I think he's a great differential, a great defensive option to have. And for that reason, I think he'll be great. So if you were to make a defensive transfer, by the way, he's owned by less than 1% in the top 10K. So if Kukurea gets a 15-pointer today, it's literally going to be a massive way towards a green arrow. Now, if he flops, it could be the difference between a green arrow and a red arrow. So that's also something to keep in mind. Captain Watkins or Palmer. Now, this is an interesting one. You bowled a chair. I don't know the answer to that one. I was looking at it, and part of me thinks that I still would prefer if I had both players in my team, and currently I have none, and I don't know if that will change or not. I think, realistically, I'd captain Palmer, because Palmer is more of a differential than Watkins. for this game week anyway. So I think I'd be more inclined to go that way anyway. 11 p.m. here is in Singapore. Yes, I've travelled to Singapore last year, and I went to the top of the massive boat in the air, and that was a really cool thing. So went to the top of the boat. It was called the Savat. The Savat. I had a bottomless brunch there, and I don't think the people that were serving us at the table realised how much the D unit can drink when he's set for a day session. And I reckon I have this dude, every time he came back, I asked for one of them. I think it was like the Singaporean beer, and they had like a cocktail, but it was like you wouldn't know what a hard solo is in the UK, but if you live in Australia, you know what a hard solo is. So it's like, you don't even know what a solo is. I'm trying to make out how this sounds good. It's like a lemon drink, a lemon soft drink with vodka and I think some sort of Prosecco or something. It went down super easy. Crazy how good it is. Honestly, mad. Let's have a look. 11 p.m. Could you check if the card prefers Watkins or Palmer transfer in D unit? Now, the good news is, folks, I found the card that called Cunha captain over Salah. I knew I'd left it somewhere, and it was actually on my kitchen table. And I was like, it was actually really funny. So Peter, one of my regular viewers, he actually came in last week in the watchalong that I did on Saturday night. And he asked a question in stream when it was just not going that well for the Haaland captaincy, and Cunha was having one of them mare games. And he came in and said, "Can you ask the card if it was trolling in the deadline stream?" I flicked the card up, and this was the card that, not this card, the card from last week that is, I don't even know where it is because I've thrown it out, but it's definitely not this one. And it said it was trolling, and I was like, well, that explains a lot then, doesn't it really? So yeah, let's say the good news is that card did say bring in Sade, and if all things, Sade still got 11 points, which was better than Jacob Murphy, not by a hell of a lot, but it was better. So in reality, that saved its bacon, because if I hadn't got that decision right, I was trying to work out whether I would have got the same amount of points if I had not made that transfer at all. But in the end of the day, the forward line just sucked. In fact, if anything, there was one question I didn't ask it last week, and that was whether it was better to get Watkins or if it was better to get Cunha. Now, that was on me. I should have realised and looked a little bit. I knew that Watkins was a potential chance of getting a good score last week, but I just didn't think about it because I thought Cunha would be a better option against Brighton, even though I was playing Bart for Bruggen and Bart Simpson actually delivered here. And that's another question for this stream. I don't know whether it's better to play Bart for Bruggen against the Liverpool team that was clearly on the beach this week, or if I play Raya. And then, if I'm not playing Raya, should I be playing Dan Burn instead of Guardiola like a Munoz? These questions, they're all 50-50 calls. We don't really know what's going to happen in those Tuesday night games. And all these players could potentially get injured. And maybe the smart move is actually to transfer out Haaland. There's so many different options this week. I was thinking about a move where I traded out Haaland to a Watkins, and then I can get a Palmer in the midfield. But then again, it becomes, who do I bench? Like, this is the other problem. Like, who do I bench? If I move Kluivert to Palmer, all of a sudden I've got 8 really good attackers, and then I can guarantee the idiot I put on the bench is probably going to score the most points out of everyone in there. All right, let's quickly go through a bit more of the chat. So Watkins or Palmer for transfer. So we'll go with the old Palmer on the top and Watkins on the back. Now, I can tell you that the card last week, the old card that didn't do very well and will never be talked about again, that said to just avoid Palmer. So it'll be interesting to see what this card, that is known for its good calls, this one does not have bad calls. So we'll see what it says. All right, that one said to bring in Watkins over Palmer. So I think this card's already onto a bit of a winner. Let's put it that way. Let's have a look. Guardiola as AM this week. No, I don't really like that. The assistant manager chip this week, I think I would almost be tempted, and I took 2 -4s when I was on the assistant manager chip, to move it from Moyes to Emery and then Emery to Glasner. And honestly, I think this week the table bonus managers just look so good. Like Graham Potter against that Nottingham Forest team. I can see West Ham just getting a really good result there. So for me, I really like that. And I think that's potentially where I would go. You could also look at Herzler. I think Herzler's probably the second best shout this week. With that Liverpool team, like, what kind of state are they going to roll in when Slot's partying in Ibiza? He went to O Beach, mate. And just imagine what he was doing at O Beach. I don't think he's going to be in any relevant state to sit there and demand much from the players. The only one that's probably likely to show up and look half decent is probably Salah. And he's going to probably be surrounded by Nunes up top, who still can't hit a barn door because he's been too busy drinking vodka. So for that reason, I think that both of those two are the best managers to go with this week. Hello, Jacob Kennedy. Do you think Asensio minutes look okay for this week? Yeah, I do. I think the Asensio minutes look amazing this week. Jacob Ramsey's obviously out injured. Marcus Rashford is injured, and then he's on... Well, he can't play against Man United. It's a bit like why I'll talk about Chelsea assets in a second as well. That's why they look all so good tonight, because Sancho can't play against Man United because they're on loan, right? So that's why all the Chelsea assets, I think, this week look really good. They should all pretty much play close to 90 minutes without Jackson, without Sancho. Who's actually going to come on and replace him that's actually any good? Then obviously, what was the other thing I was going to say about that? So I think Asensio looks really good. Now, is he still going to be on penalties after missing 2 in a game? I'm not so sure about that. I would actually be surprised if Morgan Rogers was on penalties. And maybe that's a question for the card. Which is a better pick? And this is what I've been kind of making my mind up on. Is Morgan Rogers a better pick than Ollie Watkins? Because I can guarantee that Morgan Rogers is actually going to be lower owned than Ollie Watkins by the time the deadline rolls round. And for that reason, I'm kind of more tempted by a Morgan Rogers transfer than an Ollie Watkins one. And as I said, there's no point making a -4 on a player that's going to be owned by everyone else around my rank. So if I'm taking a hit this week, it ain't going to be for Ollie Watkins. That's my advice on that one at the moment. Hi, mate. I'm already on triple Villa, Martinez, Konza and Rogers. Is it worth to do Konza, Isaac to Hodgson or another defender and Watkins captain him for a -4? Do Sada Palmer, free bench Isaac. You bench Isaac at your own risk. I'm glad I don't have Isaac already, but he's looked pretty woeful for weeks, actually. He definitely looks like someone that's carrying an injury. In terms of the -4, as I said, I'm not keen on a -4 if it involves bringing in Watkins, because everyone else is probably doing it for free as their one transfer this week, or they're also taking -4s. If you're taking a -4, I think you almost have to commit to captaining Watkins. Otherwise, it makes no sense buying him. You're better off looking like a Vardy Party, a Beto, one of these other forwards that potentially might be pretty good. Best replacement for Mamouche, Beto, Wissa or Vardy. I have Isaac and Wood already. Mohamed Atif, it depends on what you're doing. So for free hit 38, I'm literally, if I make a forward transfer and I'm going for a massive differential this week and a bit of a love story, I'm going for the Vardy Party. I can guarantee you that is the forward I would love to bring in. It just depends on which way I decide to go. Whether I want to protect my rank, whether I want to take on Ollie Watkins and his captaincy. These are all things I have to answer myself before the deadline, and I've got to talk through that. I'm going to try and explain all these different things for you as well. So yeah, I think for that reason, it just depends. If it was me and I was on free hit 38, I'm either bringing in Beto or I'm bringing in Vardy. I'm going to show you what each of those two moves looks like as well on my team. Jimbo the Daddy, hi to you as a United fan. What do you think Palmer can do against Man United? I think he can score another hat-trick, mate. If I'm being brutally honest, it just depends. Like in my head, I'm like going, we could play like we did against Bournemouth, but why on earth would we send the players out there to run the risk of getting injured? And why would you try if you're a player? I understand you want to play in the final, and maybe for the fringe players that might mean that you try a bit harder to get into the final. But realistically, I think most of them know which starting lineup Amron's already going to go with. So why the hell would you bother trying? It's like when the best way I can put it is there was a game against, when I was younger, I played in a game and we were guaranteed to finish 4th. There was nothing in it, right? There's nothing in it. And we're playing the top team that we knew we were going to be playing in the first final. And I went out there and my coach said, play as crap as you can. I want them to think you aren't as good as you are. And I went out there, I scored a goal in the first 5 minutes and he took me off, didn't put me back on the rest of the game. I was like, why are you not putting me back on? He goes, because you're going to sit there and they're going to realise that you're actually a bit too good for this league. And then they're going to just sit there and deploy all your assets to try and defend you. So he goes, I just need you to go back out there, feign you've got an injury, and then come off. So he put me back out there. I feigned an injury, and I came off, and I sat out the rest of the game. So in my mind, I'm like going, I just don't understand why we would bother wasting any assets, exuding energy before the thing. It makes no sense to me at all. So for that reason, I just don't get it. I honestly do not get it. I'm also planning to buy either Madueke or Neto. I think both of them are great moves. Which do you think can damage United more? Now, Madueke normally plays on the right, and arguably, I can't see them playing Luke Shaw. I feel like it's going to be Amas on the left. There's going to be Frederiksen. Potentially Johnny Evans might come in for this game because he's apparently fit. And then I'm like, who else do they play? I just think I'll just honestly play the under-21s. Like in my head, I'm like, who cares? We're finishing 17th, most likely, or 16th. It doesn't make any difference at this point in the season where we finish. As long as we win on Wednesday, no one's going to remember how much we get beaten by Chelsea and how much we get beaten by Villa. And if any United fan remembers, they're an idiot. They probably need to find a new club to support. Also, so apparently Tyreek George could be fit and he potentially might play as the number 9. So then I think Neto will be on the left, Madueke on the right, Palmer in his normal position, Enzo Fernandez back in the other thing, and then it'll be Kai Sado in the right back spot and Lavia next to Enzo Fernandez in the middle. I could just see that team absolutely destroying United. I don't know about anyone else, but I think it's going to be all good, buddy. Nice to see you, Chill 22. But yeah, that's what I'd say about that. Adam Fekes, I hope I said that right. Hello, Mr. Unit. Chasing rank, sold Mo for Palmer. Yep, fair. I have Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, Palmer, and Mbuemo. Who should I captain? Part of me really loves the Haaland captaincy this week, and don't even ask me why I think it. I think it's mainly because of the fact that I just think that it makes sense to captain him again because he's got the last game of the week, and then if my week has somehow gone all right till then, I mean, Haaland owes me something, eh? Like, honestly, I've used up all my team value to bring the cyborg back in. The least that he could do is actually score a goal. Would be very nice. Late boss. Raya versus Bart is a hard choice here. I'm actually going to defer that to the card, Daniel, because I'm actually got no idea. The more I think about it, the more I think Bart Verbrugge might actually be, Bart Simpson might be the better pick. I'm intrigued to know, if we've got any Liverpool fans in the chat, what do you honestly expect from Liverpool this weekend at Brighton? Like, what do you actually expect from that game? Because I think that's going to be really interesting to know. Let's have a look. Excellent. Yes, I think that to me, it just makes more sense to bring Watkins in over Palmer. If I had 2 free transfers, I'd definitely bring them both in. D-Man, delighted to see you. Thank you, Dommy Wom. How are you? Yeah, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I think I'm getting rid of Salah this week. Wow. All right. Well, if Liverpool fans are selling Salah, that tells you all you need to know, folks. That tells you all you need to know. Random guy next door. What a name. Random guy next door. That could definitely be me. The random guy next door that sits there and waffles crap. Liverpool went all the way to UAE and came back today. Afraid to play any of them. Yeah, I mean, there's a definition of being rested and then not being prepared. And if you've been to the UAE, you're enjoying some sun. Are you really going to be asked about playing a game of football? I mean, for me, I'm sitting there, I'm like going, I remember when we won the title. I was under 18s and we didn't lose a game all season. So we'd wrapped up the title with about like 5 games left. And then it just became a pissing match between me and the other bloke up front between who was going to score who was going to win the Golden Boot that year. But we also had an award for the most assists. So we were all trying to outdo each other. And the only motivation that we had was scoring more goals. So I think in Mo Salah's case, I get that he still wants to break the record and he's probably going to be switched on. But in terms of the rest of the team, they ain't got crap to worry about. Like, honestly, why would they even be like trying? I'm not sure. And I think that's probably the problem with Salah is he's surrounded by people that already know they've won. They've got no motivation. He's the only one with the motivation. So it makes it that much harder to play. So I think that's probably what we're seeing at the moment, if I'm being honest. Thoughts on Peter Dutton. Sorry, I think I missed a few chats out then, but that's just brilliant. Card needs to say Watkins of Illimid. Yes, I'll do that in a second, Chill. Thoughts on Peter Dutton. I'm not surprised the Liberals lost by that much, Bateman. I actually can't say this on stream, but when I moved to the UK, now there's a clause. Hopefully no government person's watching this, or else I'm going to get a letter in the mail saying that we've just put you back on the electoral roll. But when I moved to the UK for 3 years, I finally got the chance to take myself off the electoral roll, because when you leave the country and you move to another country to live, you can take yourself off. So you don't have to vote. So I did that because I hate voting in general. And why would I want to vote for two blokes that I've got no interest in? I mean, in part of my head, I was like going, I should join the Liberal Party and put myself forward as the D unit running for the Australian Prime Minister job. Because when I look at Peter Dutton, I'm not surprised that people don't want to vote for him, because I don't want to vote for him just from the way he looks. But I feel like potentially if he gets some geezer in front of the cameras and I can waffle some stuff that people can resonate with and think that, yeah, he's actually a half decent bloke, maybe I can pull a lot more votes than what Peter Dutton did. I'm intrigued to know whether people agree in the chat, whether if I ran for the Prime Ministership of Australia, if I'd do better than Peter Dutton. And look up Peter Dutton. He was the Liberal opposition leader until about a week or so ago. Tell me if you think I would have had a better job winning that election. Marmoush or Bowen? Bowen for me. I just think Marmoush is too much of a risk now in terms of whether Haaland's going to start, whether they can find another place in the team for him. All these things are things you've got to take into consideration. Amron said he's going to play the starting 11. See, this is the problem I've got with Amron. Like, Ange basically said, this is the situation. Like, we can't afford any more injuries. So in my head, I'm like, Amron, do you want the money from making the Champions League to help rebuild your squad? We already know that the Glazers hate paying money. We already know that Jim prefers sacking people than spending money. Why on earth would you risk your chances of winning the game by getting an injury? And that's what it comes down to for me. Like, as a United fan, I don't care about the league form. I don't care if we finish 17th. I don't care if we finish 16th. I don't care if, well, I would have cared if we finished 18th, but I honestly don't care where we finish. I think it's either going to be 16th or 17th. Why on earth would you waste any energy in playing against Chelsea? It just baffles me. The whole idea behind it baffles me. I would actually sit there and say that if he played the players tonight and they looked tired because Spurs had just had an extra rest, or we got more injuries, I think all of a sudden the people that are already in the Amron out crowd, and I'm definitely not that, because how can you be an Amron out crowd when you gave him no players and we have literally sat there for the full season with a bunch of Eric Ten Hag flogs that were only signed because of his management company and the fact that the egghead, and sorry, I am very scathing on Eric Ten Hag because I just don't understand what he was trying to do or why he thought any of these players were ever good enough for the Premier League in general. But if you expect miracles to be done with a bunch of turds, then you're delusional. That's what I have to say about it. Man United are a basket case because the management of that club for the last 10 or so years did not play football. There was no vision. There was players signed to sell shirts. There was players signed that should never have been signed. And we just need to look at Eric Ten Hag's flops when he revamped the squad. He literally turfed out players that could actually play football and bought in ones that are allergic to football. We bought in ones that are just always injured, or you put them anywhere near a goal and they would rather mark the defender than have a clear shot. Like Rasmus Højlund last week had 1.3 XGI and he never looked like scoring. Oh, don't even get me started on that bloke. It pains me so much. Pains me so much talking about United because we are just bad. Yeah, I would normally put my United shirt on for a watch along, and I'm tempted to put it on, but I'm also kind of embarrassed because we're just that bad that I might not put it on. Yeah. All right, this is brilliant. All right, have a look. I'm just going to quickly catch up a few things. So we're going to do this because someone did ask for it before. So do you bring in Rodgers or do you bring in Watkins? All right, the card's saying bring in Watkins. I tell you what, the card is making me think that maybe it's just better to play safe. But then again, this card has got history, so I'm a bit more confident in this card's decisions. Captain Rogers or Bowen? All right, Rogers, Bowen. Wow, it doesn't like Rogers at all. It's said Captain Bowen between those two. Hey D, I'm going to do all or nothing transfers. Salah and Mateta to Palmer, Captain, and Watkins. Yep, don't mind it. I mean, if you're bringing Palmer and Watkins in, it sounds pretty good. I think you'll enjoy your Friday night. Watkins or Isaac, mate? It's Watkins all day for me. I'm not even going to bother asking the card that. Watkins just seems a much better option than Isaac at the moment. Dutton is the second John Howard. Scary stuff. Yeah, John Howard, actually. The people loved him over here. Yeah, I'm just glad I don't have to vote, if I'm being brutally honest. Please, the government, if anyone sends this to the government and then I get a letter in the mail, I'm going to hunt you down. No, I'm not. But it'll be disappointing. I'll just have to go back to doing my donkey vote. Normally, I would sit there and just go in there and just create an extra box and just put in someone that I thought was funny, and I'd tick that. And so my vote never got counted anyway. I just hate the fact that you have to vote. Like, let the people that want to vote, vote. But if you don't want to vote, be like the UK and America. Just let the people carry on. It's meant to be a free world in Australia. Why the hell are we making people vote? It's disgraceful. I'd actually vote for someone. In fact, I would actually put myself on the electoral roll. If someone started peddling that, yes, we're going to introduce non-compulsory voting, I'd actually vote for that. I would actually put myself on the roll so I could vote for that. So if you want my vote in Australia, just do that. That'll make me happy. You got my vote, D-Unit. Thank you very much. Also, bad for him, breakfast. Yes. Albo had him for breakfast. Yeah, he did. Some of those debates on TV were unbelievably brutal. It was just an attack on Peter Dutton, pretty much. He got assassinated. Absolutely assassinated. Hi, Mr. Unit. Farrell Co. How are you? I'm good. You should be a politician. Would be great watching you around in Parliament. It would. I'd be like, the African Parliament? I can't remember where it is, but where they read out the Man United result and they all just start laughing. I would sit there and I'd be like I'd get read out the result. So if I was in Parliament, and I'd always watch a game anyway, so I kind of know it. And someone would do it, and I'd just sit there going, you know what needs to happen? We need to sack this player. We need to toss him out. I can tell you that if we wanted to talk about United, I'd give a critique right now about what they need to do to fix that team for next season, and it involves selling almost the entire squad. I'm safe at the top of many leagues and have bench boost 38. I still think if you've got bench boost, I'd be playing it this week. Game week 38, there'll be mad rotation. That's kind of why I've held the free hit till 38, even though I've thought about using it in other weeks. But there's always leaks ahead of that deadline. There's always players that you think are nailed on to start that don't start. And bench boost is just a difficult chip to play in that week, because if you are relying on all your bench being fit and your whole 15 players being good to go, quite often that's not the case. And then you're wasting transfers trying to change your bench. That doesn't feel good. So for me, I had a mate that I think he still has his bench boost. I just said, play it this week, mate. It's too much risk playing it next week. Daniel, I'm thinking of going Cunha to Watkins and Captain Watkins. Not sure if I could go with the bandwagon of getting Watkins and roll my transfer for next game week. Yeah, fair. Yep. Makes sense. Daniel, in your case, I want you to beat Darren next week. So that's a good move. It's a very good move this week. Cunha to Watkins is a great move because I don't think Darren's doing it. So I quite like that. Frank Golding, should I use my free transfer, getting Watkins in for Isaac, or changing assistant manager for Nuno? And if so, hold on. Changing assistant manager. Oh, so you've got Nuno and you want an assistant manager for Nuno. Frank, I'd actually probably I'd move the assistant manager if I was you in your case. I think I would go, as I said, Potter versus Nottingham Forest looks really good for table bonus, as does Herzler versus Liverpool. I think both of them are great options this week, and I think I would move it if I had Nuno. I'd even take a -4 to move it if I'm being brutally honest. Palmer a worthy punt. Is Palmer a worthy punt? I'm going to ask the card that, because the card's already said Watkins over Palmer, and last week the old card said just don't buy Palmer, so I'm interested to see what the old card says about the Palmer. So let's see, get Palmer, don't get Palmer. Oh, okay. This one's actually saying to buy Palmer. So there you go. Maybe it's hotter on Watkins getting a bigger score than Palmer, but it's still okay on the Palmer. Yes, it hurts being a United fan. It really does. It really does. We just got a tool called Stamer. Is it Stamer or Stamer in the UK? Is it Stamer or Stamer? Either way, yeah, I agree. I mean, bring back Boris. Boris was actually funny. He was like a lad. You could just imagine Boris at a party, having a great time. I mean, he did. During COVID, what did he do? Invited everyone around for a great time. I just wish he'd invited me because those staff parties look pretty good. And we all know now that having parties is good fun, right? We just have a tool called Summer. It hurts being enough fan. Fleck and Raya. Ignore that. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd be. I think I'd just play Raya. I think Fulham might not score. I'm not sure. Does anyone think Forest will win and get a clean sheet? Now, I actually thought this is an interesting one. There's a world where this week I was sitting there and I was going to do Cunha to Beto and Clive to Palmer, and I was going to bench Bowen. And I was going to play Beto, Wissa, Haaland, Salah, Sade, and Buemo, Palmer, bench Bowen, and then I was going to play Milinkovic over Guaviol. Because I was like, this will be prime Forest to come out and get a clean sheet when no one expects it. And I feel like that could also be an option. But after I watched that Forest game last week, man, I don't think I can go near a Forest player this week that's a defender. Because realistically, Leicester should have beaten them last week. They were on the ropes. The last 20 minutes, I thought Leicester were going to score a third. And I felt like they were quite unlucky not to score a third in the end. Hey, brother, leading mini league by 90 points. Oh, mate, you can just do whatever the hell you want if you're winning by 90 points. League Cup semis tonight with prize. Oh, you've got a prize in the cup. Oh, okay. So you've got free hit, bench boost, and 2 free transfers. You have Palmer, Watkins, Wissa, and Buemo, Bowen. All right, so you've already got them. Okay. Well, then, mate, you just play the bench boost this week. Play the bench boost and just make your team better with those 2 free transfers, because then you can dead end your team this week. You don't have to worry about it for next week, and you press bench boost as soon as they reopen the game. That's what I'd be doing, mate. 100%. You've got that in lock. You should be able to win both those weeks as well. I know bench boost 38 is crazy, but I've got double Bournemouth and double Arsenal on my bench this week. So I'm crossing fingers for next week doing better. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. That little bit of context definitely does help there. And yeah, I'd say, all right, and you've got double. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'd definitely rate as well. 7-year, there you go. I have added him as a moderator to this chat. So great to see you on the chat, buddy. Pep said, same team as last week, but we know about Pep Roulette. Yeah, I mean, Pep Roulette is Pep Roulette. I expect Haaland to start those, which is why I kind of want to keep Haaland. There's a move where I could have done Haaland to Watkins and Palmer for Clivert and rolled that, and then I'd have the 2 better captaincy shouts this week. But again, I quite like Haaland this week. I feel like he's due to return for me, surely. Daniel, so I'm going Cunha to Watkins this game week. Yep, do it. Watkins is amazing against Man United in 38 as well. I mean, if there's 2 great fixtures to finish the season on, it's Spurs in 37 and United in 38. Like, let's be honest. They should be dark green teams. They honestly should be dark green teams. They're probably easy to play at the moment than Southampton. Maybe not as easy as Leicester, but they're pretty easy to play against at the moment. So for that reason, I think it's just brilliant. Vardy or Beto, flip the card, bro. Thanks. Simple chili. All right. This is an interesting one. I did want to do this one myself because I am very tempted by the Beto in the Goodison Park finale. And then we've got Jamie Vardy in the Vardy party. I mean, I actually want to bring in Vardy just so I can watch that game during the watch along on Sunday night. And when he scores, just throw a party in, like with a shot for the Vardy party goals. I think if I bought in Jamie Vardy, I'd be very tempted to captain him as well. Just because why the hell not? Have a fun on the romantic that is in me that says that Vardy party pops off this week. So Vardy party, Beto. Oh, wow. It landed on Beto. It doesn't like the Vardy party. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. See, that's why I was like, early this week, I was lining up a Cunha to Beto and a Palmer to Clivert, and then I did not know who I was going to bench. And this is the problem. Like, there's no point making a -4 if it's going to be leaving me someone. And I quite like playing triple Brentford attack this week. Like, Fulham conceded 3 goals to Everton last week, Brentford have scored 4 in their last 2 home games, I think. Let me just double check that. Yeah, so they scored 4 against Brighton at home, and they scored 4 against United at home. I just think Brentford score goals this weekend. And for that reason, if there's 4 goals go in and I've got those 3 players, I can guarantee the points are going to be flying in. Start Sarr or Cunha. Alternatively, move Sarr to Saka for free and bench Cunha. I think I'd be inclined to roll and play Cunha this week, if I'm being brutally honest. United staff want Boris at the helm for his parties. Yeah, they do. They honestly do. I want him at the helm for my parties. Salah, my captain, to try and win my mini league. Antonio, mate, no one's talking about Salah captain this week. It's actually not a bad shout because he's actually going to be like under 100% effective ownership this week as well, especially if you're in the top 10K. Last week he was 93% effective ownership in the top 10K. That's actually pretty damn good, to be honest with you. I don't mind it. Don't mind it at all. -4 for Cunha to VARDYY. I'm free hitting next week, trying to catch up 60 points in mini league. See, I'm 51 points behind the own league. Now, if you want to join the league code is on screen. It's currently, I've actually got joint leaders in the league. Like, imagine if there's a tie and I have to give the award to 2 different people in the first season. I think you can beat the D unit. That'd be quite funny. I quite like it, but it's going to be an interesting last 2 weeks. I don't know if either of them got chips left. It's going to be interesting. Linfard McConney, hello and welcome. Sada Eze or Sade? For me, it's Sade. Eze might be a better pick this week, potentially, if he plays. What state of Crystal Palace going to be in on Tuesday, we don't know. He could also get injured in that FA Cup game. That is also a possibility. So for that reason, I think I prefer Sade. Plus, in Game Week 38, I 100% prefer Sade. I don't think Crystal Palace are scoring a goal at Anfield on Game Week 38. I think that Liverpool will finally show up. When they know they're getting the trophy that day, they'll want to put a show on in front of their fans. I quite like having Salah and Diaz and maybe even Cody Gakpo in my free hit team because I think they're going to score goals in Game Week 38. I've already got a packet of Tim Tams ready to celebrate Watkins blank tonight. Yes. Yes. Look, Bateman, I'll be honest with you. I'm not captaining Watkins. So if I'm not captaining Watkins, why do I bother bringing him in? Like, I'm making nothing. I'm literally just protecting myself against him hauling, like, essentially. But even then, I'm not really protecting myself because a lot of people are going to be captaining him. So, is it really even worth it? I just don't know. I don't know. Let's ask the card an interesting question. Is Watkins the best Villa asset to own tonight? Yes? No. Wow. Okay. The card is definitely liking Watkins. It is saying that he is the best Villa asset to own. It landed yes. Hello. Hey, bro. I have triple captain and bench boost. Which should I use? This week, I would probably lean towards bench boost, buddy. Unless you've got like massive amounts of Bournemouth and Arsenal and Newcastle players, then I'd probably look at bench boost 38 and triple captain this week. But I think realistically, I'd prefer to use the bench boost this week and triple captain in the last game week if I had those 2 chips left. Dev, hello. Hey, mate, great stream. Would you do Mateta to Watkins and Savinho to Enzo for a -4 benching Sarr? I don't think, as I said at the very beginning of the stream, it makes no sense to take a -4 to bring in Watkins. Everyone's bringing him in, so you're not gaining anything off that transfer except losing 4 points. Unless you captain Watkins, if you're taking a -4 to bring in Watkins, you need to captain him or you're losing points. Like, it makes no sense to take a -4 and bring him in. There's no way that world actually works. Yeah, that's all I'll say on that. Samuel, yes. If you want the WhatsApp chat, by the way, guys, we have a free WhatsApp chat group. It's now grown to over 60 members, which at the start of the season, when people joined at the very beginning of this channel and said, we need somewhere where we can talk about FPL during the week. And I thought, mate, I can't really be bothered with this because is it really something that actually people want? And now we're up to like 60 odd people and this chat group pops off. But it's brilliant. I love it. There's updates for all the goals. People sit there like coming up with all their dilemmas and stuff. And if you want really quick advice, there's always someone in there that will answer your question or get involved in the chat. So it's free. We don't charge on this channel for that. Literally, if you want to pay me money, by all means, it's very much appreciated. But I don't ask you to do it. All I ask is that you smash the subscribe button and you come and watch me and get involved and enjoy the content, really, because that's what I'm here for, to be entertaining and to be different. Let's have a look. Raya and Milinkovic or Areola and Quivior. Just bought Bowen. I think I prefer Areola and Quivior, if I'm being brutally honest. For next week, Areola's a better pick than Milinkovic next week, and Quivior is a better pick than Milinkovic next week. So I think I prefer the second lot of those moves. Do you sell Kluivert or Sarr for Palmer? Hold on. What? All right. Do you sell Kluivert or Sarr for Palmer or De Bruyne? I'd go with Palmer this week. Plus, Palmer's going to start both games, 100%. De Bruyne is very much a... Realistically, I would expect De Bruyne to start both games. But part of me... So someone pointed this out to me. Sergio Aguero's last game for Manchester City was on the bench, and he came onto a standing ovation. So will Pep do the same thing at the Etihad Stadium? It's quite possible. So I don't want to sit there and put anyone into the category of don't buy him or buy him. Just keep that in mind. Sergio Aguero was benched in his last game at the Etihad Stadium, came onto a standing ovation. That's all I'll say. I reckon at a great OR like yours, you've got the opportunity to push it more and go against Watkins. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well, Bateman. I'm inclined to do that. I would rather risk not finishing in the top 10K, and I've obviously got free hit next week as well. So even if it goes poorly this week, I think I'd rather still take it on and just hope that it comes in. Isaac to Watkins or Mateta and Saliba to Watkins and Quivior for a hit. Again, anything involving a hit for Watkins, unless you're captaining him, it's not a good move because everyone's buying him. He's been transferred in by 611,000 managers. 611,000 managers. It's mad. Okay, so second option means I get to keep Isaac. Yeah, I think I just if you're going to go for Watkins, just do it for free. Otherwise, don't do it. Ovi Stephen, Haaland now plus Bowen in 38 or Watkins now plus Salah in 38. All right, hold on. I prefer Bowen over Watkins in 38, but I think I prefer Salah over Haaland in 38. Oh, that is a tough one. That's a really tough one. Let's see what the card says. Haaland now plus Bowen or Watkins now plus Salah. The card really loves Watkins. It's Watkins now plus Salah. Sometimes I ignore the card's advice, FYI. Sometimes it goes poorly. Sometimes it goes well. Asensio captain. Let's have a look. Asensio captain. Yes? No? Yes. Card said yes. There you go. Hello, FPLD and Razan Jafar. How are you? I'm facing a benching dilemma after bringing in Jamie Vardy, either Alanga, Wissa, or Rodgers. Oh, that is a tough... This is the problem with why... If I bring Palmer in, I'll be in the same boat as you. Who the hell do I bench? I already own Mbeumo, Salah, De Bruyne, Rodgers, Wissa, Watkins. Can you suggest an option? From those, I think I'd probably bench De Bruyne. If I'm being brutally honest with you, I think I'd bench De Bruyne because we don't know if he'll get injured. We don't know if he'll start. And we don't know what's happening in that FA Cup. You would expect him to start, but there's no guarantee. Whereas all the rest, I think you can pretty safely say they're all going to start. So for that reason, has to be De Bruyne on that one. Dev, I could do Mateta to Watkins for free. Just not sure if doing another transfer for -4 is worth it for Enzo over Sarr. Yeah, see, it all still involves that -4 for Watkins. And then you're not going... the thing is, you're not gaining any points on that transfer, right? Bar like a very... Well, you're actually probably not because his effective ownership is going to be over 100%. So then you're really relying on Enzo smashing Sarr out of the water by at least 4 points. And is it a move worth doing? Do you think Enzo's really going to outscore Sarr by 4 points? Let's see what the card says. Will he outscore him by 4 points? Yes or no? The answer is no. So that's not a good move. Not a good move. All right, let's have a look. Sorry, where are we? Would you lean to Wissa plus Palmer or Watkins and Bowen? I think I'd go Watkins and Bowen. If you want my honest opinion, I think I'd go Watkins and Bowen. Isaac to Watkins or Mateta, and Saliba to Watkins and Quivier for a hit. David, Watkins for a hit just doesn't make any sense to me, sorry. As I said, his effective ownership is going to be through the roof. Yes, he's a great transfer in, but I'd be doing it for free. I wouldn't be doing it at all. Pickford or Sells, I would be 100% going Pickford. Yeah, I'd just be going Pickford. More chance of a clean sheet this week. More chance of save points next week. Finley, hello. Should I transfer out Mateta as I'm on bench boosting this week? If so, to who? I have 3.3 million in the bank. If you haven't got Watkins, I'd just make that transfer to Watkins. Or if you are, I'm assuming you haven't got a free hit next week, so I wouldn't recommend Vardy because he's only going to be playing this week and then he's done. So the Vardy party is only an option if you're free hitting in 38, because or else you're going to be wasting a transfer on him in 38, because they've come out and said that his last game will be against Ipswich this weekend. So for that reason, just keep that in mind. If you are going for the Vardy party, it is a 1 week and 1 week only play. Watkins or Salah for captain? Well, let's ask the card, eh? Watkins captain, Salah captain. Now, the card has been hot on Watkins all night long. And it's still hot on Watkins captain. Card really loved Cunha last week and got us 0 points. Yeah, I know. I'm hoping it's kind of doing the same tonight and everyone's bringing in Watkins and he gets... And he misses a penalty or something and gets 0 points. That would be absolutely hilarious. And you come back to the watch along on Gary's channel, FPL Have a Beer, and everyone's sitting there when Watkins blanks and goes, "Can you ask the card if it was trolling again this week?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's trolling." Better captaincy shout. Crazy differential captaincy pick. Does the card like a better captaincy shout this week? Yes? No? No, it doesn't like a better captaincy shout. It came up with no. Cunha to Vardy for a -4. I'm intrigued to know whether this card is going to back in Cunha over Watkins. If you had the choice card, would you pick Cunha this week or would you pick Watkins? Oh my God. Prefers Cunha. I'm dead. I'm actually dead. I'm like, what is the love of... every time... This is the old card, right? This is not the one from last week. So this one's got history of Cunha, right? This one called Cunha captaincy over Salah. And now it's saying pick Cunha over Watkins. Mate, I'm dead. I can't deal with that. That is... Cunha over Watkins. Captain Cunha this week. Honestly, should I let's ask the card. Should I keep Cunha in my own team instead of transferring him out? Yes or no? Keep Cunha. I'm dead. That was what my whole transfer was going to be about, getting rid of Cunha. That was my whole move this week, getting rid of Cunha. And now the card's basically saying don't get rid of Cunha. I mean, this is unheard of. FPL offside. Do you think you'll stay Haaland captain by deadline? No, I'm probably going to captain Cunha because this card is going to leave me astray and I'm going to be like, stuff it, let's go all in on it, baby. Fair enough. The card has spoken. Makes sense. Cheers, mate. What's your plan at the moment? My plan at the moment was to sell Cunha. I'm now having significant second doubts about selling Cunha after what I've just seen. Sell Cunha or Isaac will be free hit 38. I would sell Isaac. If I'm being brutally honest, I would sell Isaac. I wasn't too scared watching him against Chelsea last week based on what I've seen from Isaac the last month. So for me, I'd sell Isaac. Iwobi to Rogers or Isaac Iwobi out to Beto/Saka for -4. Now, if you're preparing for next week, Saka makes a lot of sense. I agree. But could you do the Iwobi to Rogers this week and then... Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. All right. No, hold on. Could you... okay. So, Isaac to Beto. The thing is, do you think Beto does any good in 38? Because if you don't, then you kind of want to be transferring him back out again in 38. I'm not sure about a Beto 38 punt. I think Beto and Vardy are really good for 37, but really bad for 38, which is why the free hit is so good for me, because I can bring either of them in and I don't have to worry about it next week. I'll just be moving them out as soon as the free hit opens. I still can't believe the card just said to keep Cunha. Like, what the hell? That was like my guaranteed transfer this week. I've got to ask this. Do I make a midfield transfer this week? Yes? Oh, no. Right. It says a midfield transfer I need to make. All right. Well, that's interesting. So I've got 2.2 million in the bank. Who would I bring in? I haven't got enough money to go from Bowen to Palmer. I haven't got enough money from Mbeumo to go to Palmer. I've got enough money from Salah to Palmer. Or do I get a cheaper Chelsea mid? Let's ask that. Palmer or a cheaper Chelsea mid? All right, well, it landed on Palmer. Well, I don't know how I'm going to do that without getting very, very creative. Do I take a -4 this week? Yes, no. Oh, the card loves -4s. The card loves a -4. Do I sell Guardiola as part of the -4 to get in Palmer? Yes, no. No. Okay. Likes Guardiola then. I don't know how he expects me to do it then. I'm going to work that out in a minute. Cunha to Vardy for -4. Do you think I'll say, it's Cunha, maybe. Whoa, do we start Cunha or Wood? Start Cunha or Wood? All right, Cunha, Wood. All right, it's backed against Cunha, this one. Reckons Chris the Woody Woodpecker is going to go all right. Interesting. Borgia is going to start instead of Beto, potentially. Which two do you start? Please help. Cunha, Eze, Munoz, Aït-Nouri. Munoz and Cunha. Just because the fact the card said don't transfer out Cunha. Will Holland be in the start? What? Who's Holland? Is that Hoyland or Haaland? Can you please clarify, please, Eugenie? Can you please clarify, are you talking about Haaland or Hoyland? Lalex, would you do Eze to Saka for a -4 if you're chasing? This week? No. 100% no. I think Eze outscores I think Eze outscores Saka this week, if you ask me what I think. The Salamites, can the cards do Mbeumo and Watkins for a captaincy shout? All right, yeah, fair. Mbeumo captain, Watkins captain. Mate, Mbeumo captain. Interesting. Why is Waddy captain so popular, but no one is talking about Rodgers? Good question. No problem, Payne. My pleasure. I don't know. I actually think that Rodgers is the best asset to have, but the card reckons Watkins is, so I don't know. So I think Villa are going to I don't think Villa are going to score massive amounts of goals against Spurs. I think it's going to be one of them games, like the last few games for Villa have been very much all about the defence and keeping a clean sheet and then scoring the one goal. So for that reason, based on that, if they scored one goal and Watkins scored it, the maximum amount of points he can get is 9. So it's not massive numbers. Beta AA, Martinez, Konza, Munoz, Guardiola, Salah, Sarr, Rodgers and Mbeumo, Kevin De Bruyne, Isaac Wissar, 1 free transfer. What do I do? 1.3k overall. Beta. Oh, you have got a good rank, buddy. You're in a good place to be. I like Martinez. I like Konza this week. I like Munoz. I like Guardiola. Salah is okay. Sarr's probably the one, or Kevin De Bruyne. I'm not sure which one I'd want to get rid of. I think, realistically, you want to get rid of Sarr. And I'd probably get a Chelsea midfielder, mate. One of those lower pros. Either a Pedro Neto, Madueke, Enzo. They're all really good options this week. It depends on what if you need more money for next week. If that is the case, then I'd definitely recommend Enzo. Gives you a little bit more money to play around with in Gameweek 38. But either of them are really good shouts, I reckon. Will you buy Wissa to get rid of Mateta, or will you save the free transfer for next week? I'd get rid of Mateta. I was so glad to get rid of him. And that was like 3 weeks ago or whatever it was. Whenever I got rid of him, I was very glad to get rid of him. I think I got Wissa in for Mateta on game week 34, and it's been brilliant for me. Outside of last week, Wissa's been amazing. Is he the best forward for the next 2 weeks? It's probably Watkins, truth be told. But if you're happy to take it on, then I don't mind Wissa. Femba Rasakuma. I'm 2 points behind my mini league leader and need captain advice. Should I go with Salah, Mbeumo, Bowen, Isaac, Palmer, or Beto? I don't mind the Mbeumo shout, you know. I feel like Fulham are going to concede goals in that game. And Mbeumo is always going to be a shout, right? He's got multiple routes to points. And I think Mbeumo is going to be a lot lower owned in terms of captaincy this week. So for that reason, I quite like it. Hi, mate. Start one. Cunha or Eze? I don't know about this one. I'm going to ask the card. I'm going to defer to the card. Do we start Cunha? Or do we start Eze? Oh, the card likes Cunha again. But it didn't like Cunha over someone else before. But it says Cunha over Eze. Interesting. We've got an hour to the deadline, 58 minutes, and I've still got no idea about what move I'm going to make. The card reckons I keep Cunha and make a midfield transfer. And it reckons Palmer's better than the lower priced Chelsea mids. There's no easy route for me to get Palmer in one transfer unless I move Salah. Or I could potentially move Munoz. Let's have a look. Hold on. So I'm just going to quickly go on here, so bear with us, folks, while I muck around with my own team really quickly to see what is possible. Let's go to cheap defenders. We could look at a Mikalenko, right? So Mikalenko, how much is he? 4.4. Let's get rid of Munoz, see how much money that leaves me with, and then see if it's possible with that. It leaves me with 2.9 million. 2.9 million would be exact money to get rid of Bowen for Palmer. That's doable, you know. I think it's still doable, yeah. Look at that. Exact budget to do it. So Mikalenko in for Munoz, and then I'd have an Everton defender, Kukurea, Guardiol, Palmer would be in the midfield, Sade and Mbeumo, Salah, and then be Wissa, Haaland and Cunha up top. And I'm just completely ignoring Aston Villa. The card did say to take a -4. Is this the move? Let's ask the card if this is the move. Mikalenko and Palmer in or not in? Moment of truth. Let's see what it comes up with. It doesn't like the move, so we're not doing it. All right, can that? Oops, don't know what happened there. Imagine if it just accidentally just clicked yes. All right, didn't like that move. All right, let's ask it a different question then. Do we sell Bowen this week? Yes or no? All right, well, wants to sell Bowen. So it obviously liked the Bowen to Palmer bit. It just didn't like the Munoz to Mikalenko bit. All right, let's see if there's another defender. So Mikalenko costs 4.4. Could we double down and go on a double Chelsea defense? Or could we go... All right, hold on. Let's ask it a question. Do we go a Chelsea defender or a Villa defender? Chelsea defender. All right. That makes a bit more sense because I think Spurs have more of a chance of scoring than Man United do. All right, let's see if it likes this then. So we know we need a 4.4 midfielder in order to get Palmer in for Bowen. So let's go defenders. And let's go to Chelsea. Where are we? There we go. And who's better out of Colwill and Chalobah? You would suggest that Colwill probably is. Oh, whoops, sorry. Need to get rid of Munoz, don't I? There we go. Imagine making a defender transfer and Colwill scores against Man United. Like, what would the scenes be? Like, that would just be mad. It's definitely something I'm open to. Martinez, Konza, Munoz, Guardiol, Salah, Rogers, and Mbeumo. Kevin. All right, done that one. Thanks, mate. Will you buy? I'm the 2 points behind my mini league leader and need captaincy advice. I say, yeah, and Mbeumo is really good. Sorry, I've just catching up where I was because I got a little bit sidetracked with my own team. Abdallah Amafida. Hi, mate. Start one. Cunha or Eze? Cunha. Who scores more as a trio? Salah, Palmer, and Beto, or Palmer, Asensio, and Marmouche? I think it's the first option, Chill. First option. Start Munoz or Canade. Buy Wissa or Wood. All right. Munoz, Canade. Start Canade. That's interesting. Maybe that's why it says to sell Munoz on my own team. Buy Wissa or Wood. Wissa, Wood. Wissa. Can you please ask the card? And Mbeumo versus Bowen captaincy. All right. And Mbeumo, Bowen. Mbeumo. It likes Mbeumo for captaincy. Do Raya to Sanchez and Palmer in. What's Raya worth, though? Because I kind of want Raya next week. 5.5. I'm not losing any value on him. That's also possible. We'll check that out in a second. We'll ask it for likes this mode first. Can you ask the card whether I should ask her out or not? Ask who out? What's her name? We've got to have a name to this person before we can ask the card. It needs a card. Card, do we like the Colwill and Palmer transfers for Munoz and Bowen? Yes? No. It does like them. It likes them. All right, so it likes Colwill and Palmer in as a triple up. Let's ask the card someone else. Do we start Raya or Bart Simpson? Oh, we're starting Raya. It doesn't like Bart Simpson. Madness. I think this might be the move. It could be Colwill for Munoz and take it on. Because if the card likes Cunha, that means that Cunha will score against Crystal Palace, right? So then we're just playing the real differentials again and hoping it comes in and the -4 pays off. And we're going to be sitting there watching the Spurs Villa game, hoping beyond hope that Watkins sucks and gets a 0-pointer. All right, I want a name from Yaks. We need a Yaks. Oh, we should have 30 likes by now. How many people have been watching this? Been on here for an hour. I started with about 15. We only need 15. There's 34 people in here at the moment. Everyone smash a like, and the card will ask whether Yak should ask the girl out or not. Good afternoon, Andrew. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. Did you know, in my head, I was like going, you know, when you want to ask a girl out, I remember when like you're young, right, and you don't have quite the self-confidence as you do when you're a bit older and you've gotten used to asking girls out a bit more. And I remember when I was I used to work at Woolworths, right? So over in Australia, there's still Woolworths. If you're from the UK, I know you had Woolworths, but it's slightly different. It's just a supermarket over here. And there was this good-looking girl that used to work at Leonard's, which was a butcher's, right? Like that they only sold chicken, and it was directly across from Woolworths. And she'd always come through my checkout, and I'd always look at her and wave as I walked past on the way past her shop. And then I knew that she was single because she went to a different school, and I had friends from that school that worked at Woolworths, and I said, can you go and ask her out for me? Like back in the day when you're like, you know, you don't have the today I go and ask, right? If that was me, like just go and ask and be like, fancy a drink? When you're young, you're like, oh, I'm going to send an intermediary with me, going to suss out whether they like me or not. So you go over there and be like, oh, can you go and ask her if she fancies me? And then you say your friend would walk over and they'd ask her the question and they'd come back and they'd be like going, yeah, she thinks you're all right. And you're like, all right. What do I do now? What do I say now? And then I'd be like, do you want to see if she'll want to do something? So then your friend would go back and they'd ask that, and then she'd be like, yeah. And then you come back and you'd be like going, oh, what does she want to do? So then your friend would go back over there again and be like, what does she want to do? Then they'd come back and be like, she says whatever you'd like to do. And I'm like, oh, what do you mean? I just remember this. It was like one of my first experiences of dating and asking a girl out. And yeah, thankfully now I have a lot better confidence in that. But back in the day when I was 15, 16, when I was navigating in the dating world for the very first time, it is quite a daunting experience. You don't know, and no one wants to get rejected at the end of the day. That's what it comes down to. You're on 42 likes now. All right, let's ask the card. All right, we haven't got a name, so we're just going to pretend that Yakush wants to ask out a girl called, let's go with, someone give me a name. Someone give me a name in chat. What do we think Yakush's girl, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. What do we think the girl is that he wants to ask out? Give us a name in the chat. Whoever comes up with the best name, that's who we're going to pretend he's asking out. Who did you say was going to play right and left back again for United? I think realistically, right back and left back today, Fredrickson is definitely a shoo-in. He will definitely start. He'll probably be either the right back or like the left centre back. Amas will definitely be on the left wing back. I don't think they want to be really starting Mazraoui. I think it's going to just dig into whoever the hell else is in the 21s, to be honest with you. All right, so we've got a couple of names here. Leslie, Shakira. Anyone else with a name there for me to choose from? Hi, mate. Who should I pick? Saliba, Livramento, or Robinson? My other two defenders are locked in. I'd go with Saliba over those three. Yeah, I'd bench the other two. Munoz to Williams or Isaac to Vardy? I think I prefer Isaac to Vardy. Leslie. Tiffany. Oh, Tiffany. I like that one. I think Tiffany's leading the way at the moment. Hi, Fundles. How are you? If I'm happy with my goalkeeper, defenders, and mids and have 0.6 in the bank, one free transfer and chasing rank, what would you do? All right, hold on. I'm happy with my goalkeeper, defenders, and mids and have 0.6. Then I'd go on a 1 week punt, mate. I don't know if what chip you've got, if you've got any available in 38, but if you want a 1 week play, I really love Jamie Vardy. I also love Beto, but they're crap in 38. They're honestly crap in 38. Bruce. Lakeisha. Lakeisha's a nice name. I don't mind that. LeBron James. Someone write Cristiano Ronaldo and I'll ask it that. Sheila. Oh, Sheila. All right, Sheila's in the lead. I'm not going to lie. That's a quality name to have for a girl. I'm just going to go and ask out Sheila. Look at that, Sheila. I mean, that's got to be the winner, right? I think that's got to be it. I have Isaac, Mateta, and Wissa. By the way, no chips. If you've got no chips, hold on. How much are you saying you had in the bank? Zero. Oh, you've got 0.6 in the bank. 0.6 in the bank. Forwards. Let me have a look at the forwards. I'm just going to quickly look at this while I think about asking out Sheila for Yakush. And you could go Cunha. If you want to be differential, you could go Wood if you want to be differential as well. They could both be good the next 2 weeks. And you've got enough money to do Mateta to that quite easily. I think if I'm being brutally honest with you, I think I'd probably go Watkins if I was you. For your one free transfer, if you're happy with everything else, I'd just do Isaac to Watkins and roll. Because if you want him for 38 as well, Watkins will be good in 38 as well. I have Isaac, Mateta, and Wissa, by the way. Thanks, pal. I thought all Aussie girls were called Sheila. Yeah, they're not too bad. All guys are called Geezer, by the way, in the UK, I heard. Salah out, Eze in. Murphy out, Sade in. Isaac out, Watkins in. -8 sounds good. No, that sounds horrible. Do not do that, Omkar. Don't do that. Do not do that. Any transfers involving -8 for Watkins is bad news. Bad news. Beta AA. Diaz for Sa. Don't mind that for next week. Not this week, though. And putting the armband on Diaz. What do you think? I think Diaz gets benched this week, Baker. If I'm being brutally honest with you. Next week, though, I love it. I'm actually thinking, that's what I'm thinking about at the moment. I'm going to show you what I came up with today for a free hit draft for next week, right? So I'm just going to cancel out all these players that I don't like. And I'm going to show you what I like for a game week 38 free hit draft as things stand. All right. So this is what I'm thinking at the moment. Where are we at? Midfielders. Goalkeepers. Mate, let's go. All right. Can that. All players. Areola. So this is what I'm already thinking for next week. So, no, I don't want Milinkovic. I want Hodgson. We're going to restore Bowen. Then we're going to look at, get rid of that, Diaz. I think next week that Liverpool score a boatload of goals. So I'm actually loading up on them, which some people may agree with, some people may not. Who else did I have? I had... who else did I have in this draft earlier I did today? Someone help me out in the chat. Actually, hold on. I've got a photo of it. Bear with me. This will save me a lot of time rather than me trying to guesswork my way. All right, here we go. So, Evan Nelson. And then I had... Oh, yep, that's right. Saka. At the moment, I have Martinelli because I'm not sure about Trossard. And then the other two defenders were... Oh, yep, that's right. So, Collins and Wan-Bissaka. So I put this together, 0.1 in the bank. That would be like what I'm looking at for free hit 38 at the moment. Just in case anyone's wondering what I think will be the best team next week. Prior to, obviously, leaks happening, in this draft, I'm probably captaining Mo Salah as well, if I'm being brutally honest. I think that Liverpool absolutely wiped the floor of Palace in game week 38. I think they wiped the floor of them, regardless of whether Palace win the FA Cup, whether they lose it. I don't see them showing up to Anfield and putting up much resistance. And I feel like Liverpool are going to pour on the goals. And for that reason, I still think Palace might score. So that's why I'm not interested in Liverpool defence. But I think triple Liverpool attack could be really good. And I do expect in game week 38 for Diaz to start, for Gakpo to start, and Salah to start. And I just think there's going to be goals. So that's what my early free hit draft looks like for game week 38. In case anyone is wondering, that's what I'm looking at. Obviously, not this week. So we're going to reset that now. But that's what we're looking at for free hit 38 at the moment. That's my very first draft. I can tell you, I'm going to make a video about that and why I think that probably on Monday. So I'll reset that for now. That's the team things as it currently stands. Let's go back to the chat. So we're going to ask, Yakushnev got back to us. I'm going to say that her name is Sheila. So do you ask Sheila out? Yes. She's going to say yes. Or no. She's going to say no and don't ask her out. I hate to say it, mate. Don't ask her out. She's going to say no. All right. Diaz Facade putting the armband on Diaz. Yeah, I've done that one. Isaac Alcunha to Vardy -4. Chasing mini league. All right. Isaac Alcunha to Vardy for a -4. All right. I'm thinking the card's going to say Isaac. Isaac Cunha. I actually said to sell Cunha. That's ironic. But should this transfer actually take place? Yes or no for a -4? All right, reckons you should do it. There you go. There's your answer. I was thinking about -8 as I have bench boost. Okay, is -8 worth it on bench boost? Yes or no? No, it's not worth it. Palmer hat-trick. I got a one football notification. Yeah, it could happen. Honestly, it could happen. That's why I quite like Palmer this week. Triple captain Cole Palmer locked in. Going to be a right ass when United win 1-0 and it's Mount who scores. Nah, don't say that. If I'm doing the reaction stream and I'm booing a Man United goal, what has my life become? What has my life become if that is the case? If I'm supporting Man United and I'm unhappy that we win 1-0 against Chelsea, FPL has ruined my experience as a football fan. I need to think about my life. To be honest, I'm thinking to roll. Yep. I think rolling is actually quite good in your case. Like, I feel like a Diaz move is probably a 38 move, not a 37 move. That's what I would say about that. Triple captain Cole Palmer locked in. Yeah, I just... There's something about Cole Palmer this week that I really like. I'm not sure what it is. I'm honestly not sure what it is. Yeah, I'm still. I sometimes I disagree with a card, and I'm like, this card in particular, I went against in game week 34, and it didn't go as well as what I thought it could, because I didn't buy Cunha, and I was going to captain Cunha if I bought him on game week 34 in that -8. I went somewhere else and it didn't go anywhere near as good as the Cunha move. So I'm like really skeptical of like going against it because the last time I did, it was no good. Rahi's back, yes, buddy. Look at that. I've got Rahi and Semenyo both in the chat, both showing up as blue now. They are the official D unit moderators. So yeah, get amongst them. Went Saar to Palmer. Yeah, don't mind that. That's a good move. Rico St. Clair. KDB to Palmer from -4. Yes or no? Yes? No. No. All right. The card likes Palmer, but it doesn't like a -4. I feel like it's contradicting itself a bit. If I'm being brutally honest. I feel like it's contradicting itself a little bit. I might have to sub it out for the old one, eh? No, I'm joking. We're not going to do that. Stuff that. Oh, I'm just checking I picked up the right one. Oh, yeah. I've definitely picked up the right one. All right. I was slightly concerned. I think the card from last week is this one. All right. Let's have a look. Thoughts on Wolves assets this game week? Well, the card still likes Cunha. Let's put it that way. It's still very hot on the Cunha. Whether it's correct or not is another here nor there. Darius, check the chat. I mentioned some names. All right, let me have a look. Let me have a look. Why do you think? All right, hold on. Cisco, McNeil, Collins, Coyote, Vandenberg, Delap. I want Vardy too, man. I feel like it's a fairy tale. Like he has the best fixture to cross his landmark. Why do you think Watkins won't pop? I think Watkins will pop. But I just don't want to own him because he's been transferred in by 600,000 managers. And I'm making nothing bringing in Watkins. I'm just protecting my rank. Vardy, Beto, Watkins, Rogers, Palmer, Cash, Dean. The card, by the way, Rahi, just to catch you up, the card said it was better to transfer in a Chelsea defender than a Villa defender. And it liked the transfer of Munoz to Colwill and Bowen to Palmer. FYI. I'm not convinced on it, which is why I haven't done it. All right, Freddie, hello and welcome. Good to see you again, buddy. Who do I bench out of Isaac, Murphy, Marmouche, and Cunha? Oh, mate, that is a tough one. I think I'm benching Marmouche. Out of those 4 assets, I'm benching Marmouche, I think. It's either Marmouche or Isaac. I think I'll play Murphy. I think I'll play Cunha out of those 4. This card doesn't seem to have consistent opinions. No, this one is very biased. This one just calls it as it is and it just goes with it. My Bagya Bata. My God. People just want to sit there. The people come to listen to me make horrible pronunciations, I swear. -8 to Glasner to Potter. Don't mind that. Salah to Palmer. Risky, but it could pay off. Marmouche to Watkins for any hit doesn't feel good because you're not going to be gaining any points of it. Is it worth or Glasner to Potter and Marmouche to Vardy? I prefer the -4. If I'm being brutally honest, I prefer the -4. Glasner to Potter, yep. Love that move. Marmouche to Vardy, yep. Today's card's just saying no to everything. Yeah, it has said no to a lot of things. That is correct. Milinkovic or Big Dan Burn? I think it's going to be Big Dan Burn. But I will defer. Because part of me thinks that Milinkovic could be a really good defensive asset this week. Who's going to score more points? Now, here we go. This is an interesting question for the card. Who's going to score more points? Milinkovic or Bowen? If this comes back with Milinkovic, I'm not trusting this card. I'm picking a different one. Milinkovic was the first one, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, mate. Oh, dear. All right. The card reckons that Milinkovic is scoring more points than Bowen. I don't know what good that does to anyone, but that's what it reckons. All right. But Milinkovic versus Big Dan Burn. So Milinkovic, Big Dan Burn. Big Dan Burn. All right, well, I did say that I think Newcastle versus Arsenal will be a 0-0 draw. So there we go. Damn. So the Chelsea defender, best opinion best option is definitely Kukurea by a mile. Yeah, by a mile, Rashi. Yep, exactly. Yeah. This card is making us move wild. Yeah, I don't know what it's doing, man. It's on its. Sometimes it does do things that I'm like, I've got to try and read through this. This card is off its head, 100%. Is the card off its head? Yes. No. Hold on. The card does not reckon it's off its head. It reckons it's not off its head. Oh, mate, the card is 100% off its head. I disagree with it. I disagree. It's off its head, but it doesn't think it's off. Yeah, also, I do think Watkins will return tonight. I'm just trying to back against it and hope that it works out well. I mean, yeah. Like last week, I thought Cunha was going to be amazing against Brighton, and he sucked. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe that could be Watkins tonight. All right, 6 points from first in my mini league. Is the -4 for Cunha out worth it? What do you and what does the card say? Well, I would normally have said the -4 is worth it because I wanted to move Cunha out of my own lineup, and then the card said don't move Cunha. So let's see what it says. Is it worth -4 out moving Cunha, or is it not worth it? All right, well, now it's saying that it is worth it. So this card is contradicting itself. It can't be taken on face value. So I'm backing against the card. So now I don't know what I'm doing. Because I actually don't know what I'm doing with my team this week. Like, there's so many good options. Part of me is like, do I just play it safe this week and just try and finish top 5,000 and bring in Watkins for Cunha myself and then just leave it at that and then hope that my other differentials come in and come in big. So then I'm hoping that Sade does really well. Haaland does really well. At the moment, obviously, I'm on Haaland captain. I'm just going to go back to my team really quickly, see what it looks like. So that's what it looks like currently. And I do have the captaincy on Haaland. Who's the better captaincy choice this week card? Is it Haaland or is it Mbeumo? All right, we are changing the captaincy, boys. We are changing the captaincy to Brian Mbeumo. I'm going to go back to Brian Mbeumo captain. I probably should have done this last week. The card now reckons that Brian Mbeumo is a better captain, so I'm backing in Mbeumo. I wasn't sold on the Haaland captaincy. Part of me was like going, that makes a lot of sense. But now that the cards come back and said make Mbeumo captain, I'm happy to back that decision in because that was a 50-50 for me. Let's have a look. Flip the card between captaining Vardy or not. All right, captain Vardy. Don't captain Vardy. See, this is what I would be inclined to do if I bought in Vardy party. It reckons captain the Vardy party. Like, part of me really wants to bring in Vardy just to captain him. Is Vardy captain a better captain than Mbeumo? Yes? No. All right. The card really likes Mbeumo captain because it's come up with Mbeumo every question for that. It's very consistent on that. Watkins for Cunha or Wissa? All right. Watkins for Wissa or Cunha? All right. Now it really doesn't like Cunha. It's turning on Cunha. It's had a change of heart over the last 20 minutes. Now it's saying get rid of Cunha. This card backed Cunha so much last game week and it ended up blanking. Yeah, exactly. I can't trust the card on Cunha. It is biased towards Cunha on so many levels. I think it's a little bit giddy from when it called the captaincy shout of Cunha over Salah. And it now, unfortunately, keeps weighing with Cunha favoritism. I think that's the best way of putting it. So for that reason, I think that any decision regarding Cunha and the card needs to be taken with a very big pinch of salt. That's what I would say to that. Hi, bro. Would you swap Eze and Vanlinson to Watkins and Neto? Ooh, I've got the money to the penny for a minus. Oh, there was the catch. Is it worth a -4 to bring in Watkins? Yes? No. All right, well, the card completely disagrees with me then because I think it's definitely not worth. The card reckons it's worth. So I don't know who you back more in this situation. Do I call more things right or does the card call more things right? That's a tough one. Tough one. I'm inclined to think that that's wrong But for me, Captain Palmer or Watkins, I'm pretty sure before it said that Watkins was a better buy than Palmer. Captain Palmer, Captain Watkins. Captain Watkins. So it's doubling down on Watkins. There you go. Maybe that is the move. Maybe I just bring in Watkins for Cunha, roll with Mbuemo captain, protect the rank, stuff it. Who's going to score more points this week? Jamie Vardy, the Vardy party, or Ollie Watkins? All right, well, interesting. The Vardy party. Is Vardy party the best captaincy shout this week? Yes? No. Holy hell, yes. This is a madness. The Vardy party. Honestly, should I just bring in Vardy party for Cunha? Just be dumb of it. Be dumb of it. I mean, I could still do the Vardy party and Jared Bowen out for Cole Palmer, right? It's definitely still possible. It's definitely still possible. Asensio or Neto? I've listened to the wisdom of the card and bought in the Vardy party for Cunha -4. I love it. I'm not even going to lie. Even if the card's got it wrong, I still love it because it's the Vardy party, man. I just want to own him for this week. Just because it's the Vardy party. And like the dude has been so good. I've wanted to own him all season as well. Just because of the fact I thought it was going to be his last season for Leicester in the Premier League. And this is his last game. And like there's no reason for me not to do it. I don't need him in 38. I've got free hit. It's literally a 1 week punt. This is the definition of a 1 week punt. And I love a 1 week punt. Now, I've got a few scars from 1 week punts this year. So I bought in Dominic Solanke in game week 11 prior to my wild card, and I captained him in game week 11. So I'm kind of scarred by the 1 week punt a little bit, but I didn't ask the card about that. I just did it because I thought it was the best move and I thought it was going to pay off, but it did not pay off at all. So yeah, that has to be said. So Asensio or Neto? Let's have a look. Asensio, Pedro Neto. Asensio. Interesting. I actually really like Asensio this week as well. Nymo's asked if you will do a card flip for if he should join us for our watch along or not. Can I just deliberately corrupt the card so it lands on what I want it to land on? I really want him to come. So Nightmare comes on FPL Have a Beers watch along with the D unit. Yes, with all the D unit toss luck, we want a yes or no. I said no. The card always comes up with some rogue calls, man. No. Darius is bringing in Vardy. I see this coming, and that too for Cunha. All right. Do I do Vardy and Palmer in for a -4? Yes. No. No, it doesn't like the -4. All right. Mate, I think taking -4 is actually not a good play this week. I feel like it could definitely backfire pretty spectacularly. Is the move... All right, here we go. This is the real clicker. I think this is what it's going to come down to at the end of the day. Is it Cunha out for the Vardy party? Or, do we gamble and go Cunha out for the Vardy party? Or do we go Cunha out for the safe, boring Ollie Watkins play? The card decides. I think this is the move. We're going with the Vardy party. I'm doing it. Stuff this. I'm not asking any other questions. We're doing it. Get rid of Cunha. Cunha's going to get a 15-pointer now. Watch it. Watch it. I'm telling you, the card is going to troll me massively. Let's do it, man. I'm doing the Vardy party. The Vardy party. Look at him. Like, I mean, this is the definition of a zero brain play. A zero brain play. I just want to talk through everyone this. This is not based on any reasoning, any kind of sensible decision making has gone all out the window. Leicester have not scored many goals since game week 23. In fact, they've actually scored. They've scored 4 goals since game week 23. So that's an average of 1 every 2 games, pretty much. And it makes no sense why I'm doing this move, other than the fact that I just think that they're versing Ipswich, and Ipswich are crap. And if there's ever a time for him to get a goal, it's probably against them. Now, against Ipswich in game week 10, VARDYY played 90 minutes. He had an XGI of 0.49, and he got 1 assist. He got 5 points. And if you look at Ollie Watkins, if you look at Salah, if you look at Cole Palmer, if you look at Erling Haaland, and who the other idiot was that I compared, the only one that returned away from home in the reverse fiction, they all played away from home except Salah, who played at home and got a goal and 9 points. The only one that got any returns the first time round was the VARDYY. So, based on absolutely nothing other than the fact that I think this man gets goal 200, I think that's the move. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do the VARDYY. I'm being brutally honest. I think I'm going to do the VARDYY. I've got to think about it for another 5 minutes, but I think I'm going to do it. Have you done a flip for Palmer or Vardy captain? I'm going to quickly catch up with the chat, and then I'll get through to some of these in a real quick. I haven't done Palmer or Vardy captain yet, but I did ask about Vardy captain, and it loved the Vardy captain. It picked Vardy. Rubbish card, lol. right off for me. Night off for me. I know. I was like, the card. Sometimes the questions. Was the card trolling because it knew that it wanted FPL Nightmare to get involved in the chat before turning around and saying that yes, it actually did want FPL Nightmare to join the stream? Let's do it again. Yes. No. Oh mate, the card's doubled down. He doesn't want you on the stream. All right. Darius, bring in Vardy. Ask the card if you bring him in for Cunha. Yeah, 100%. I'm doing it for Cunha. Oh, no, and he's captaining him. I'm not sure about captaining him. I don't know if I'm willing to take that risk just yet, but I'm kind of keen to do it. Just for the hell. Like, what the hell? Why not? I'm playing 3-4-3 formation. I brought in Vardy and Watkins for -4. Which 3 defenders to play? I had 8 Nori, Guardiol, Milinkovic, Shah, Kukurea. Kukurea, 100%. Guardiol, yes. And I'm going to go with 8 Nori. Don't know why. Is Amrin too crazy a punt for assistant manager? Do not go anywhere near it, Tamar. Amrin is a bad shout. If Man United and Spurs actually come away with anything better than a 3-0 scoreline against them tonight, I'll actually be shocked. Like, I'll legitimately be shocked. Beto is a better option. Maybe. Can you flip the card if -4 for Vardy is worth it? Yes, it's worth it. No, it's worth it. Yes, it's worth it. Torn between Herzler and Potter otherwise, and have to go for Vardy party. Who's a better assistant manager? I actually think that it's Potter. Potter, Herzler. All right, the card disagrees with me. The card thinks Herzler's a better option. I captain Watkins just to be safe. Yep, fair. Go for it, man. Vardy party, Cunha out. I justify my reason to want to own him. Yep. I'm going Rogers captain to steal all Watkins points. Love it. Don't mind it. Captain Kinder and Buemo, or take the Pisser Wisser. The Pisser Wisser and Kinder and Buemo. All right, let's have a look. The card is called Mbuemo captain all day, all night long, by the way. So Kinder and Mbuemo, or the Pisser Wisser. I feel like I wanted to land on Pisser Wisser just because Pisser Wisser sounds really cool. Oh my God, it landed on Pisser Wisser. Brilliant. Need help with benching one out of Salah, Bowen and Buemo, Rogers, De Bruyne, Watkins, Wissa, Marmoush. Right now it's Marmoush. Yep, I'd agree. Jacob Fowler, I'd go with Marmoush. Peter, how are you, buddy? Good to see you in the chat. Would you start any Forest? Yes. But I'd probably start the forward options. Forward or mid options over the defence, if I'm being brutally honest. Nathan Bowles, how are you? Who to start between Areola and Raya, as well as start two of Milinkovic, Bradley and Saliba? Raya, Areola. Areola. That's funny. I wouldn't be starting Areola. I disagree with the card on this one. I would be starting Raya and I'd be starting Saliba and I'd probably play Milinkovic because I think that Liverpool are on the beach and that's the only reason why. Watkins worth a -4? No. The card reckons Watkins is worth a -4. I think it's not. Just trying to stay in the top 10K. Yeah, see, if I wanted to just stay in the top 10K and just worry about that, I'd bring in Watkins in my team. 100%. But I'm not gaining any rank. And I feel like I still want to try and chase. I feel like the Vardy party is just worth it, man. I put the thumbnail on there because I kind of wanted to go Vardy party. So the card reaffirming some sort of my belief that I want to go Vardy party. Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm still not convinced that Cunha out is a good move, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like my forward eight's really good this week, even without the Vardy party. Yeah, I think it's just worth the risk, honestly. Start Dean or Saliba. I would start Dean. More potential of attacking returns. We haven't had any leaks yet. Anyone had any leaks on lineups for tonight's game? We've got about 17 minutes till the deadline now. Slightly already have Raya. Let's get Vardy in D. My cards say Cunha out. Yeah, I agree. I think it is probably going to be Cunha out, to be honest with you. I'm being realistic. I think it's probably going to be Cunha out. I think that's quite reasonable as well, if I'm being brutally honest. Let's have a look. Went Leno to Martinez, a good move. Benching Areola. Leno to Martinez. Yeah, I don't mind it. I just think that Spurs are capable of scoring a goal. Like, Spurs' defense is garbage. Let's be honest. They're going to concede goals. Could you imagine tonight that all these fixtures, we're thinking that it's going to be Tottenham getting spanked by Villa and United getting spanked by Chelsea? Just imagine if they're 2-0 all draws. Could you imagine how boring that would be? I mean, I quite like the idea that Tottenham versus Villa is a 0-0 draw because I'd rather that be 0-0 than a high-scoring game. But I did the card already for Bart Simpson versus Raya, and it came up with Raya. So, Raya. Beto or Vardy? The Vardy party. I just got back in the Vardy party, man. The dude surely gets goal 200. He's versing Ipswich. In Southampton, I feel a better defence than Ipswich. Play Minte or Salah? Salah. You can't back against Salah with Minte. Let's get Vardy in. -4 Marmoush for Vardy. Why not? Full time, Spurs 2-0 win and United 3-1 win. There's no way United are winning 3-1. Who's going to score the goals? Rasmus Højlund? Tito Obi's going to probably start tonight, I'd think. You never know with Amarin. You never know. Like, I just don't... I'm sitting there already dreading seeing the lineup and going, oh my God, are we going to get any injuries tonight? Because the worst thing that can possibly happen being a United fan in the banter era of Manchester United being the banter club is the ultimate banter will be that you finally lost and gave Spurs a trophy. Could you imagine the humiliation of being a United fan? I will not go to work on Thursday if we lose that final. Like, I just won't be able to go because I'll just be sitting there going, how did we lose to the team that never wins anything? Like, how did we do it? They don't even have a midfield. They've got no Bergvall. They've got no Madison. They've got no Kulusevski. If we somehow lose to that Spurs team, they should just... Ipswich and Leicester and Southampton should put a protest in and just get United relegated, because we should not be losing to Spurs. That would be the ultimate banter of banter. Would you do Cunha Murphy out for Vardy Saka? Probably. Ask the card between Beto and Vardy. I did this before, and I actually feel like it came up with Beto over Vardy, but we'll see now if it's had a change of heart. So Beto, the Vardy party. All right, well, that's it. I'm going against the card because the card says Beto. I still prefer the Vardy party. Maybe Beto's just going to go absolutely mad, but I'm not sure about the Beto. Beto might not even start. That's like Vardy party. We know is 100% starting for Leicester, right? Like it's a guaranteed starter. It's either Vardy or it's Watkins. I still might even change it. I might even back against my head and just play the safe game. I'm still not sure, which is why I haven't made the transfer, which is why you can't see my pick the team thing yet. 13 minutes. I've been thinking about this all day long as well. Like, part of me wants to take a gamble, but part of me also doesn't want to not finish in the top 10K. And I feel like if I cock this up massively, it could really spectacularly backfire. Thoughts on triple Brentford attack if I'm going differential? Yeah, I love it. I'm going triple Brentford attack this week. I've got no issues with that at all. Bench Cunha or Sade? I would bench Cunha probably, mate. Angel. I just feel like there's so much upside with Sade. Sade's so low owned still. And he's been in hot form. He's got 4 goals in the last 3 game weeks. Am I lagging? That's probably me. Hello, Yasmin. How are you, buddy? Do you think I should sell Mateta for Vardy, Beto, or Pedro Welbeck? I wouldn't be buying Pedro at all. And to captain Mbeumo, Wood, or Salah? I'd captain Mbeumo. Vardy yellow card nailed on 100%. Vardy party's going to score and he's going to get booked. Like, it will get booked. He'll take his shirt off. He'll do something stupid. He'll do something shithousery. We know it's going to happen. It's the Vardy party. It's the last Vardy party ever for Leicester. Guaranteed yellow card. Like, he loves yellow card, yeah, as well. What's he got? Yellow cards this season? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Loves yellow card. 5 yellow cards in 36 games. That's not too bad. It's pretty tame. Guaranteed he's getting 6. I actually had a dream that Vardy party got himself sent off after he scored the 200th goal. Just did something stupid and got himself sent off. Captain Mbeumo or Watkins? I think I'm going Mbeumo, even if I bring Watkins in. I don't like captaining someone in the very first game of the game week. Sorry. Selling Cunha to Watkins captain. Would you play Rodgers or Bowen along with them? I'd play probably Rodgers. Let's ask the card. Rodgers, Bowen. Oh, mate, I hate when it falls on the floor. It said Rodgers. See, look. The card and I think alike on some things. All right, what do we got? So would you go for Vardy, Beto, or Welbeck? I personally prefer Vardy. The card prefers Beto. Assistant manager, Herzler, or the card thinks Herzler's a better shout than Potter. I think Potter's a better shout than Herzler. But either or, I think both of them are great options this week, particularly chasing table bonus. I think we learnt last week, table bonus is the king of the assistant manager chip. On almost every game week this season, the assistant managers have won out over the favoured managers. For that reason, I really like it. So again, that's what I'll be doing. Anyone got any leaks on the starting lineup for Spurs yet? I really want to know who's starting for that Spurs team, whether they're going to be any good, whether they're going to be crap. Like, are they going to be any good? I'm not sure. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that I can see. Let's have a look. So many people picking Watkins as their captain as well. Mbeumo's actually a second. Yeah, no news on any lineups yet. Start Alenga, Sarr or Enzo? Enzo all day long, Peter. This week has to be Enzo, 100%. Do I bottle triple captain on Palmer and just captain him? Keep chip for 38 fun. Keep chip for 38 fun all day long, 100%. I love playing a chip. Well, I've never actually played a chip in Game Week 38, but this will be my first year doing it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun next week. If I'm being brutally honest, I think it's going to be great fun. Bench Saka or Cunha? I'd probably bench Saka. Would you go for Vardy over Watkins, though? Well, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm picking Vardy over Watkins for no reason, really. Just because I love the idea of Jamie Vardy this week. I've done Salah and Marmoush to Palmer and Watkins for a -4. Salah and Marmoush to Palmer and Watkins. Yeah, okay. Have made a deal with my friend on Mini League. I will captain Watkins. Thoughts? Yeah. The card prefers a Watkins captain over Palmer. Eze to Saka for a hit. Not this week. Next week, yes. Not this week. I actually think that Eze will score more points than Saka this week. Newcastle's not an easy game. Not an easy game at all. I can see that being 0-0 at all. Should I remove Kevin De Bruyne or Salah for Eze? Should I remove Kevin De Bruyne or Salah for Eze? None. Don't bring in Eze this week. That's not a good transfer, I don't think. Vardy or Watkins or Beto? I think Vardy. I'm so torn on this one. Part of me thinks I should just protect rank and just get Watkins. Like, my head tells me I just want to protect. I mean, this could easily be Watkins, right? The Vardy party, that could be Watkins. It just sounds so boring, man. Well, I don't want to be like the crowd. But, like, I remember last year, it came to this part of the season. The reason why I didn't finish inside the top 100,000 last year is because I did do something different like this. And the bloke that I went for sucked. Even though on paper it could have been really good. And the other person went really good. So, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, this is like a huge kind of a swingy move. I either go with the crowd and know that Watkins is in my lineup. Don't have to worry about it. Whatever points he gets, if he goes off, he goes off. Yes, I'm not getting his captaincy points because I'm not going to be captaining him. But at least whatever he gets, I'll still have those points and I won't have to worry about it. Whereas if I don't have it and I take it on and he goes big and then Vardy party sucks, all of a sudden I've lost another 10 points and that pushes me closer to not finishing in the top 10K than just staying where I am at the moment, 6,000. So, like, it's a real risk versus reward situation. And I feel like last week I took a risk with the triple captaincy. And if that had come in, I think I would definitely have done Vardy party. Wouldn't even thought about it. But, like, this week, because that didn't work out so well, now I'm like, should I just do the safe thing? That's what it's coming down to at the end of the day, really. Captain Salah, I don't mind it. Guardiola to Potter or Sarr to Bruno Neto or both for -4. I think I'd do both for -4, Tariq. Best way to protect is by attacking. Yeah. It'll help me make a decision, eh? Predicted scorers. So the top projected scorers this week is Haaland with 0.79 and and Ollie Watkins 0.79. Then it's Palmer 0.59, Salah 0.53, Beto 0.51, and Vardy 0.5. So in reality, there's a 0.29. There's a 0.29% chance more than. Yeah, I mean, that's quite a significant difference, isn't it? It's pretty significant. I mean, Cunha's way down on this list. Right, so the top projected scorers. Based on this, Ollie Watkins is a shoo-in. So maybe I just play it safe and go Ollie Watkins. Captain Vardy, they say. Yeah. Vardy probably gets 1. Watkins might get 4. I know. Watkins or Palmer captain from the card? When Watkins captain, FYI, Kosi. A few people have asked that. It's picked Watkins over Palmer all night long. I mean, that's high odds, man. 0.79. Like, that's almost a guaranteed goal. 55% chance of scoring. Haaland beats him, though. Palmer's also highly up there. And Salah's also up there. I mean, Beto and Vardy are 5 and 6. So they all think they're pretty good. The only thing I'll say is that I think that Spurs' defense is going to be garbage tonight. Maybe I just play it safe. I think I might actually play it safe, boys. I've got to disappoint everyone. I think it's got to that point where I'm like going, like, I don't know if I can do a watch along and then just not have Watkins in my team. And everyone has him. But like, this is literally the 1 week play, and Vardy is the 1 week play, isn't he? Where's Jared Bowen on that list? Bowen's nowhere near that list. Oh, Bowen's at 0.37. Do I just do it? Do I just do the Vardy party? Ollie Watkins, Vardy party, Ollie Watkins. All right, let's ask the card one more time. Ollie Watkins, Jamie Vardy. Whatever it says this time, I'm just doing it. All right. I hate to say it, the cards landed on Ollie Watkins, so we're going to be boring. We're going to bring in Ollie Watkins. All right, Ollie Watkins is in the lineup. That's how we're lining up. We're not taking a -4 because I've got no money left in the bank. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? 0.3 left in the bank. Yes, it's boring, but I think it's at this time of the year where you almost got to protect yourself a little bit. I was kind of hoping it did the Vardy party then, but I've been torn. I'm going with that. Hit Wisser out. Yeah, I did actually think about that, honestly. Should I just take a -4, get rid of Wisser for... I just feel like Wisser... I feel like Brentford do so well against Fulham, though. I'm very happy to have Brentford. Wisser for Vardy. Yes or no? Yes. No. Oh, no. The card doesn't like it. The card does not like that move. We're not doing it. Is there anything else I can do that's like a little bit different? Is there a Chelsea midfielder I can bring in? But then who am I benching out of that lot? I think I'm happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that lineup. Pretty happy with Mbeumo captain. Haaland vice captain. Part of me really wants to do Haaland captain though. I'm just going to ask the card one more time. Mbeumo captain, Haaland captain. It's still on Mbeumo. It's been on Mbeumo all night. I'm going Mbeumo captain. That's it. Team is locked. That's how we're going in. Game week 38. There's no -4s for me. I'm playing it safe. I'm being bloody boring. Thanks to the card. The card is ruled against the Vardy party. But anyone that does it, I will be living there. I'm going to do a Sunday night watch-along stream. And I'm going to be hoping the Vardy party goes absolutely massive. Like, I hope he goes absolutely ham. And that everyone gets reward for bringing him in. Because I was too much of a chicken to just sit there and do it myself. I'm so gutted. I can't believe the card went Watkins over Vardy. It has no theatre. The card has no theatre this week at all. No theatre. I'm one of the boring 700,000 people that bought in Ollie Watkins, and I am boring, and I am just relying on Haaland and Mbeumo. The good news is, if Watkins blanks tonight and Mbeumo goes big, I'll make bulk rank. Because Watkins is definitely going to be the most popular captain tonight, and I'm not captaining him. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, we've just hit 1 o'clock, which is the deadline, which is 6 p.m. UK time. Sorry, any leaks? No, we didn't get any leaks. No one came in here with any leaks, which is interesting. Get Vardy and Watkins. Yeah, I can't believe the card just didn't want to let go of Watkins at the end of the day. All hail the card. Let's see if it gets it right. This is like Cunha from Gameweek 34. I know, it is. But this is the card from Gameweek 34, so I've got more faith in it. So I can't back against it. I backed against it with that Cunha call the last time, and I really wanted to go Vardy party. But the last time I went against this card, it didn't go well. So Brian Mbeumo locked as captain. Raya or Areola. The card actually picked Areola over Raya Good luck, everyone. Good luck. All right, now that we've got to the deadline, really quickly, because I've got to go and clean my thing, and then I'm hop on an FPL Beers stream, watch along. So now I've got 2 assets playing tonight. I've got Ollie Watkins and Kukurea. So I'm hoping for a Chelsea clean sheet, 1-0 win, Kukurea goal, 15-pointer. And I don't even know what I'm hoping for in the Aston Villa game. Just Morgan Rogers to do nothing, Spurs to score a goal, and Ollie Watkins to do something to justify the transfer. But not too big because people are captaining him. So in reality, I'm hoping for a blank. I bought in a player hoping for a blank. It just makes no sense to me. But I did what the card did, and that's what we do. All right, let's have a look. Challenge, I'm not chickening out on Jamie Vardy. He's captain in my FPL challenge. I can lock that in right now. So how did we go last week? 22 points. That is embarrassing. Well, that sucked, didn't it? At least I had Sade, 11 pointers. Everyone else sucked in that game. Next week, let's have a look. All right, who we got this week? What are the players from Arsenal and Newcastle in double points? All right, I'm going to pick Raya in goal. Actually, I'm not going to pick any Newcastle Arsenal assets. I'm going to pick Pickford in goal. I've been saying all week that Pickford is the best goalkeeper. How can I change my mind? We're going to go with Kukurea in defence. I still think he is the best defender to have this week, and I'm actually really happy I have him. I'm also going to go with Cole Palmer. And you know what? Because I didn't have the balls to do it in my own team, we're going to go with Beto. And we're going to go with Jamie Vardy. And you know what we're doing? We are making the Vardy party the captain in FPL Challenge. There we go. That's the FPL Challenge team. Pickford in goal. Well, it's a team full of blue. So Pickford in goal, Kukurea, Palmer, Beto, and Jamie Vardy captain. There you go. I've got Vardy in my team, just not in my real team. And we're captaining him in this team. So let's hope for all the best. Good luck in game week 37, everyone. Free hit 38. I can't wait to activate that chip and start moving some blokes in and out of my team. I'll be back tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. FA Cup is tomorrow. I'll be back on Sunday evening for a live watch along, watching the games between West Ham Forest, Brentford Fulham, Leicester Ipswich. We are going to do the Jamie Vardy watch along in game 500 for Leicester. That's happening on Sunday.